Ladies and gentlemen, dames and herren, mesdames et messieurs, welcome to the Vincent Charles Project. I am your host, Mr. Vincent Charles, the master of ceremonies. And today we have a very interesting episode. We're going to be discussing authors and the books that they've written that have influenced us in, well, any way, really. So we'll go ahead and we'll start introducing our guests. First and foremost, my brother from another mother, Mr. Ordnance J. Packard. Horty, how you doing?
It's hazy. It's what the Indians would call, what everybody freaks about with California fires. The Indians called the hazy season. So it's hazy, which
Okay, and
means I've got a
Hayes
massive
rhymes.
fire up the road from me, and just yeah, my air quality is 2 packs a day.
Okay, and as you know, Hayes rhymes with maize, which is the Indian word for
Yes,
corn. Yes,
yes, everything is
had to.
full circle. They're not very creative on their, haze, maze, just not a lot of range in their language.
This is true.
Yeah.
And on to our next guest. You know her well, my sister from another Mister, Miss Janelle Waz. Janelle, how you doing?
I'm doing all right here. Still in denial that summer is ending.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are. But then,
Yeah.
judging by the number of tweets I see, I can't wait for it to get cold. Yeah. Okay, when it's -5 and you've got a foot and a half snow on the ground, you're going to
Oh,
be singing a different tune.
I am not looking forward to winter.
Yeah, especially Chicago winter,
Oh,
because Chicago autumns are bad enough. I couldn't imagine
God
dealing
made
with the winter in that
Chicago
city.
weather to train the faithful.
Is that how you read? Is that how you say that word? I've only seen it written.
What?
I thought it was always Chicago.
Chicago.
I'm trying to come up with a response
What?
to that.
The Chicago Cougs. They're my favorite sport ball squadron. Yeah.
The Bulls. I don't know.
And as Janelle tries to work that bit out, let's introduce a special guest for today. Um, Anyone who listens to KLRN on a regular basis knows her and loves her. Miss Aggie Regan. Aggie, thank you for
Hi.
coming onto the show. How are you?
Thank you so much for allowing me the absolute pleasure of being on your show.
Oh, no, no. Pleasure's all mine.
I'm doing okay. It's a really nice day outside. I think that our high was 75 today. So very pleasant.
Sweet.
Did a lot of
Nice.
stuff out there. I'm pretty exhausted.
Damn. Not too shabby. For a Sunday, anyway.
No, no, there was a lot of gardening done. My mom would be proud.
Oh, coffee and cognac. Yes. That's this show is fueled on coffee and cognac. Occasionally tea. But I digest. I mean, I digress. We're going to go ahead and just jump right into it because I know a lot of you have a lot of authors that you want to talk about. So let's do it. And before I do that, let's show the chat on screen. There we go. Ordy,
Yeah, hi. How you doing?
how you doing? Favorite authors, favorite books. Why not throw out a few of them?
I'm gonna avoid the obvious ones on this one because anybody who follows you or me knows that we are just rampant in the Dune posting and the occasional Gibson posting. So one series of books I absolutely loved that I haven't thought about in a very long time is Pierce Anthony's Incarnations of Immortality series.
Ooh,
I'm familiar with it, but I had not read it. So I suppose
So
I
I'll need
have.
to, I suppose I'll need to
yeah,
make a note of that.
and I just discovered. I thought there was only 7 books in the series. I just discovered that they released an eighth book He released an eighth book back in 2007 after 15 years
Oof.
of finishing the series. It's like George R. R. Martin, but it's
Except
an
a better
excellent
writer.
premise. Yeah, definitely a better writer. It's an excellent premise in that it deals with um, like the Greek idea that every state has an incarnation. It's like death. The guy on the pale horse. You got the fates. You got nature. You've got God and Satan in it, and all of them. They are a human persona, and it's like a job. And the whole series starts out with a guy, Zane. He bought a potion so he could fall in love, and it didn't work. And his wife's despondent, and he's just ready to. He's had enough. So he's got the gun to his head, ready to kill himself, and Death comes walking through the door a little early. So he freaks out and shoots Death, and then he becomes Death. So then he goes through his relationships with all the other immortal incarnations.
Okay.
All 7 books.
Now I
I've
have to
become
read it.
Death, the Shatterer of Worlds.
So yeah, and the whole series is
I
like
am
that.
Mike Nelson, the destroyer of worlds. +1 if you guys get that out there. But yeah, oh shit. Now I've got to read that. Now I've got to make a note of it.
Oh no, that was a really cool series. I gotta say, I did not know that there was an 8th book. Now I gotta go hunt it down. So I only have
Yeah,
the
the
7.
8th book is about night.
So. No, one of the things I loved about On a Pale Horse was the little doohickeys where he would run them through the body and then the next one over the body, and then he would put them together, and that would weigh your soul and would determine where you move to. But the funny thing was that if you didn't believe, the soul would just dissolve. That was a really cool twist that Anthony put in that book.
Nice.
And the concept that there's like a queue for deaths.
Yes.
I mean, for people dying, and so he goes on strike for reasons I won't get into, and so like everybody's just stuck in this state of dying. Everybody who would have been dead is stuck in there. So like if they're in a brutal car crash, they're still in it. That would have killed them. They're still in it. They're not dead. So
jeez.
Yeah. Yes. So it's a really, really well done series, and every book in the series focuses on one of the incarnations. So, and how they all weave together. So really fun series. And he did a lot of other stuff too.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the Fates book,
Exactly.
because it goes really into the Greek mythology on that one. So.
Let's see who.
But yeah, it's good fun. I highly recommend it.
The Fates. Atropos was one, and I can't think of the other 2 names. Shit.
Does somebody have a
Oh, wow.
747 landing in their house?
No, actually, that's an Airbus A300, and it's flying towards the airport. I live about 8 miles as the crow flies from the airport. So yeah, because I'm outside.
So you are the approach.
Yes. Any others that you might?
Yeah, there's another series. God, there's one I want to recommend it, but I keep waiting for Jeff or Aggie to hit me up for Spirited Books for an October one. But it's the Necroscope series by Brian Lumley.
Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, that is. It's horror, but it's kind of a sci-fi horror, and it's a lot of fun. And I think there's like 6 books in that series too. But yeah, there's no way to even describe what the book is about without kind of ruining it.
Yeah, and I don't think you should because it's horror. So Janelle will definitely not want to hear.
Ooh,
it.
no.
So, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean,
it's cool. It's like a detective story. It's a little bit of spy work. It's vampires and aliens. I mean, it's transdimensional, not extraterrestrial. So the whole series is a lot of fun. And last but not least, Robert Anton Wilson with the Illuminati series.
I am not familiar.
Okay, that one, it's so it follows a character it's also kind of a detective story, but it's kind of a little bit of H.P. Lovecraft. He's investigating some murders, and it turns out he meets with Aleister Crowley, and there's all just psychedelic, weird shit going on. And every now and then the book will take a break and have James Joyce and Albert Einstein playing chess and having a conversation that somewhat relates to it.
That sounds a lot like Kim Newman's Dracula books.
Okay.
There's a book called Anno Dracula, and basically it follows the tale that Dracula, when he left Transylvania and came to England, he actually defeated Van Helsing and the other people who were trying to kill him, and he eventually ends up as Prince Consort to Queen Victoria, and he essentially takes over England. And there's there are a lot of literary characters that are in the book, and there are a lot of fictional vampires from other authors that like Lord Ruthven is the prime minister, and Count Orlok from Nosferatu. He's the keeper of the Tower of London, where they keep the prisoners and stuff like that. And it's formulaic, and there's a lot of tropes in it, but it's a really fun read. I highly suggest it to anybody.
What was that again?
Kim Newman, and the book is called Anno Dracula, ANNO.
Writing it down. AD, get it?
Yes,
Clever.
That is clever. Very clever.
All right, cool.
And
It is on my list.
Yes, and we're going to move
Notes
on
have been made. So those are my big three. I mean, aside, like I said, without going into Frank Herbert or William Gibson.
Ooh, hang on.
Just-
We've got Andrew. So, Janelle, if we can start on you. Hang on, Andrew.
Hey,
Better late than never, brother.
Yee.
sorry, I'm dealing with some issues.
No, do not apologize. Never apologize.
No,
Come
take
on
the
with
pressure
it.
off me.
Well, no, the pressure's still on here because Janelle.
Damn.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm a big reader or anything, but I do like my classic literature books. Probably started back in high school when, well, I had to read Jane Eyre before, I started my freshman year of high school, and that was a tough book to get through. But once I got into English class, we're talking about the book, all the different plot points, and kind of talking about what the characters are doing. I found that kind of fun, saying like, yeah, this guy's acting like an idiot, and going like that. And that's kind of how I base my YouTube channel, like talking about Star Trek. It's basically like your English class, talking about like different plot points. And so, read up on classic literature, Scarlet Letter, sophomore year, eventually got into Jane Austen with Pride and Prejudice, really identified with the character of Elizabeth Bennet, kind of a stubborn, sarcastic streak. And it's like, hey, I can relate to this. And kind of just went through most of Jane Austen's books. And let's see. I also read a little bit in the Star Wars Expanded Universe, some of the books, because I'm also a Star Wars fan, in addition to Star Trek. Haven't read a whole bunch of Star Trek books, though. What do you want to know?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of rambling at this point.
Books, Star Trek books are kind of hit or
Yeah.
miss. There are some of them that are very good, and others that are just basically disguised Mary Jane books that the author inserts themselves into the story.
Yeah, I can see that.
Ooh, I saved the day. I'm so awesome.
Like Clive Cussler does in every book.
Well, no, he only shows up in every book.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
And
So-
he's always Clive Cussler.
Right.
So you always recognize him. He's the guy who wears Hawaiian shirts and a captain's hat and is usually drinking himself into a stupor.
Yeah,
So yeah.
fishing the spy, hanging the lantern on fishing the spy out of Hong Kong Bay, so that way you don't have to ask, well, how did he get out of that one?
And at the last line, the name's Cussler.
Yeah.
So basically, Clive Cussler writes novel-length Penthouse Forum.
Yeah, pretty much. No,
Yeah,
no,
a
no.
case
He
could
just
be made,
he
yeah.
kind of shows up. Somebody else is writing the Penthouse Forum and injects Clive Cussler into the fantasy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just
I'm
writing
saying,
his own
all these people in a
daydreams into books.
all these people in a big sweaty pile grunting and stuff, and Clive Cussler is the guy coming in bearing lemonade and snacks. So, yeah.
I'm Clive Custer. You may remember me from such orgies as last night.
Oi.
Good night, everybody.
No, and talk about hit or
Thank you.
talk about hit or miss.
Thank
The
you.
Star Wars books were really hit or miss too.
Yeah, although I will say with the expanded universe, like, it's certainly not perfect, but you get the sense that the people writing the books in the expanded universe really love the franchise. They know the universe backwards, forwards, upside down, right side up. They pretty much respected George Lucas's vision. In fact, I think everything had to get approved from Lucasfilm or something, which is more than what I could say for what Disney's done with the franchise. But
Right.
I will say Timothy Zahn's writing style kind of stood out to me because it was very easy to understand, and he knew when to hit on nostalgia and when to snap back to the story at hand. So you'd have maybe a paragraph or two where Leia's talking about what happened in Empire Strikes Back, and that's okay. We're here on Kashyyyk, and Chewie's doing something. Let's go see what he's doing,
Yeah.
Well, I'll
As
tell
as
you,
opposed
the
to
best
just
one,
relying on nostalgia.
the best one was a Splinter of a Mind's Eye.
I never read
That
it,
was
but
good.
is that the one that if they didn't make Empire Strikes Back, that was going to be the sequel to A New Hope?
I couldn't tell you for certain.
yeah.
I know Alan Dean Foster wrote it, and it came out right after the first one.
Okay.
Sorry, there's no 1, 2, 3, and 7, 8, 9.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It was the very first
Yeah.
EU.
Yeah. Because I think I remember reading about that, because I never read it, but I was reading about it, and how there's weird sexual tension between Luke and Leia, and this is before they found out they were siblings or anybody knew that they were siblings. So it's probably kind of weird to read in retrospect, but at the time it's okay, there might be a love triangle going on there with Leia, Luke, and Han. Maybe.
Yeah, because apparently a big plot point, and I remember it because when it dropped on the shelves, I was like, ooh, I got to get this. And, ooh, hang on. Andrew, you doing okay?
Everything's just spinning in the world today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you keep dropping out.
My internet's being a little buggy at times.
Ah, okay, fair enough. But like I was saying, one of the plot twists, which were, plot twists were highly popular until J.J. Abrams got a hold of them. But
I was thinking
Sandwich
of Night
Starfire.
Shyamalan.
But yeah, the twist is that Darth Vader was in love with
Oh
Leia.
no.
Yeah, this was before the whole "I am your father" thing. But yeah, so yeah, if you thought it was creepy before, get a copy of the book and read it.
Yeah,
now,
Empire kind
especially
of
40 years
retconned all
later.
that shit.
Well, it's probably
Yeah.
better than reading Shadows of the Empire, which I got halfway through and bailed on it. Because
No, anything written by Steve Perry, not the vocalist, mind you, but Steve Perry, the author.
like I
is
said,
best
I
of
had
all.
a I had a couple minutes where I'm like, is this the same Steve Perry or a different Steve Perry? But at least with Splinter of the Mind's Eye, you can justify it with okay, nobody really knew Empire was gonna happen. Nobody really knew the family trees, were gonna happen. Shadows of the Empire, everybody knew. So then when there's the weird shippy Leia and Luke moments, it's no, stop.
Yeah, because all of his books have one of those moments in it. Because he wrote a 3-book series in the Aliens universe that was based on Earth War, which was a Dark
Okay.
Horse comic. And yeah, there was
Yeah.
quite a bit of quotation inappropriateness, close quotations.
I will
So-
say for Steve Perry, the author, is that his writing was easy to understand. I was flying through chapters like it was no big deal, but it's the difference between eating a hamburger where it's real easy to eat, but it's not all that good. Maybe for from McDonald's, but then you go to Timothy Zahn's writing, and it's a pretty alright steak. I'd rather spend a little more time eating the steak than a quick meal with the burger. You know what I mean?
It's like the $9 hamburger
Right.
from Applebee's. Yeah.
It's yeah, this is fancy.
It's like the $5 shake from Pulp Fiction.
I never did
Oh,
see Pulp
Jesus.
Fiction.
Oh,
bourbon in it or
let's
anything?
not get into what Jeanette hasn't seen. We'll be here for 3 hours. Oh, sorry, that was unnecessary. But I
Was
regret
it
nothing.
though?
Nah,
Was
we
it?
know I haven't seen anything or read anything. We all know it.
Um, anything else that you've read that you might want to recommend, or anything that particularly, that hit you in a certain way?
I mean, I could talk about Pride and Prejudice. Like I said, I related to the main character Elizabeth Bennet a lot. And kind of how she was sarcastic and really stubborn, and that's kind of my whole personality too. And she also marries Colin Firth by the end of the miniseries, so there's also that. I could also talk about how there's the Wuthering Heights trailer that came out that looks god awful. I hated the book, and even I was offended at that.
See, she's not watching any Austin thing on television unless it has Kieran Holmes in it. So,
No, and
yeah.
that version of Persuasion I wasn't even that crazy about. I'm not even crazy about Persuasion, period. But, yeah, I'm not sure what else to say.
Don't worry about it. If something comes to you, just sound off. Aggie,
Hi.
I know from the comments in the green room that you have much to share with us. So please go ahead.
I like books. That's why Jeff and I teamed up and did the Spirited Books podcast. So I'm not going to talk about books that I would recommend, but rather books that that helped to shape me. And I'm not the Bible, obviously, so I'm not even going to talk about that because that comes with a part and parcel of the whole Aggie gig. But there are some books that actually did have an impact in my life, and none of them are in the same genre. First off, and it's probably gonna get Janelle mad.
Persuasion.
Nope, Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights.
But there's a reason for that, and I know it is not everybody's cup of tea. It is for a lot of people. It seems to be tedious, and people just absolutely hate the fact that these two just are so absolutely so self-involved with each other. But it actually taught me the value of loving a person based on merit and based on what you can give them of you. And it actually taught me that giving love without any expectation is very freeing, because the two characters, Heathcliff and Catherine, and yes, I saw that new movie coming out with Margot Robbie. I think his name
That was Robbie, I thought.
Yeah, Robbie.
Yeah.
It's loosely based on the book, and I'm like, well, you just lost me. Forget it. Bye. Yeah. It's going to go downhill from
There's
there.
a reason they put Wuthering
it's-
Heights in quotations.
Right.
Yeah, it's made for modern.
Exactly, and I think it's
sensibilities. We'll
Netflix
just
that
leave
picked
at
it up, so that should tell you everything.
Oh.
But the thing between the two of them, their love is so strong that it becomes curdled and it becomes hatred. But as we all know, the popular thing is hatred is the other side of love. It's the same side. It's a different side of the coin. So they're just so wrapped up in that they do not see the destruction that comes with that, and so they start destroying each other. And you kind of really, it teaches people how not to be when it comes to their relationships, whether they be platonic, there be familiar, there be with a significant other, any of those things. So I read that book when I was 14 and I was shell shocked. Then I read it again when I was 16 and I said, oh, I know what I'm not supposed to do. It's a good primer for that particular emotion that everybody has and everybody feels. So that's why I like that book. It ends horribly. Also, one of my top favorite things is to read things that end horribly, especially love stories. They need to be tragic. They need to end bad, because that's life. Not everything's a happily ever after. So that's one. Another one is Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. I know everybody had to read either this one or 1984 or Animal Farm.
I
I've
wouldn't
read them
say I
all.
had to read it. I willingly did so.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of us, chose. We were given like choice of the three, and so almost everybody in my class got 1984, and I was like the only one with like Brave New World, and everybody's like, "Why did you pick that one?" It's like because everybody else picked the same book, because I had to be different,
And
right?
also, Brave New World is thinner, so
It's thinner, but one of the things that I liked
it's
about the
hard to
book
read.
is that it shows you not just the dangers of that particular dystopia. It shows you that it is impossible to cage that which makes us human, that drive to be free. It's impossible to do it. A lot of you had the alphas, you had the betas, you had the gammas, the epsilons, the gammas. You had all of those. You had different classes. They were all bred differently. They were all taught differently. Repetition, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. And yet, you have somebody like Helmholtz, who was this brilliant guy who yearned to actually write stuff that was tragic, that had meaning. And he couldn't do it because he was bound by that particular society. And he ends up doing it because he's banished, but that was, to have somebody that smart, that amazing, and know that he yearned for something else that he could never have in the society, that was a kind of an eye opener for me. I mean, you had John Savage, which was the big guy, the one that you were supposed to concentrate on, because he was human raised in a savage, area, ergo John Savage. But one of there were little hints in the book, like the free martins. You couldn't just decant everybody. There are some women that had to stay reproductive. They could not be sterilized because in the unfortunate event that something happened to the society. So you always had to have that safeguard. And so when you start looking at all the safeguards, you start noticing that, you can't trap that which makes us human. You cannot do away with it. And that was one of the bigger takeaways that I got from that particular dystopia. So
And that's in your favorite field too, because nobody ends well in that book.
nope, nobody ends well in that book.
No. And I think another thing it teaches us is that Soma doesn't fix everything. So
No, it doesn't. But damn, I
But a
wouldn't mind
gram
having one.
is better than a dam.
nice.
Let's see. I guess my third pick would be, okay, Vincent probably knows this book. Orty probably knows this book. Janelle probably has never heard of this book. Andrew probably knows this book really well. It's called Megatrends, and it was written by John Naisbitt back in 1982.
Yep. I've heard of it, but I've never read it, so now I need to.
It's actually a really interesting book, and it is about, he was I guess you would call him I don't even know what to call him, but he would study trends to predict, future goings on and everything. And he was actually really good at it. Some people nowadays say, oh no, he was really bad at it. But I mean, after reading, there were some things like, we moved from we became an information society after being an industrial one. That was, he said that's where we were going to next. And this was back in 1982, and this was before the personal computer was even something that, Gates was even thinking about. So he saw that because he saw the trends coming from places such as NASA, and he would study the things that NASA would be doing with their computers and how people were acting with the computers at NASA and things of that sort. And he predicted that we would move into that information society. He actually went so far as to talk to about the predominantly national economy becoming more globalized. And that's pretty much where we're at. We're trying to get back, we're trying to rein that back, but that was one of the things. There were the biggest trend that he saw coming, and indeed it became really true. It was the Baskin Robbins trend. And basically that one was seeing a few things. Either you could have this or that, and seeing all the choices that you could have, like at Baskin Robbins. And one of the most, I guess, the most prevalent one was TV, the channels. It used to be that we had ABC, CBS, and NBC, and maybe UHF and PBS, and that was it. And then in the advent of the 80s, we started getting HBO, we started getting the Superstation, the TBS, we started getting this, we started, then came, headline news and CNN, all of these things, the cable marketplace started opening up and all of these channels. And look what we have now. We have thousands of channels. So that was a trend that he saw that was coming in the advent of becoming a more informational based society.
Thousands of channels and nothing on.
And nothing on, not a thing. So
nothing but cats.
It is an older book. Like I said, it came out in 82, and some of the stuff in it is dated, but it is very interesting the way that he foretold certain things that were happening just based on the way people were gathering information, the way people were reacting to the information given. So I do recommend people still read that book. So
Sweet.
It's called Megatrends. Very cool. Anyway, anybody who knows me knows that the very first major book that I read in Spanish, and it was Don Quixote.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very lovely book, and lovely in the way that it's written and the way that the author, Miguel de Cervantes, actually portrays the insanity that infuses Don Quixote. He believes himself to be a knight. He wants to, court Dulcinea, and he believes that the windmills are giants, so he wants to attack them. Meanwhile, his faithful squire Sancho Panza is trying to rein him back, trying to bring him back to reality. And it's really weird as you're reading the book how their personalities shift into one another. So towards the end of the book, Quixote is more rational, more grounded. He is living in the now. Sancho Panza has now become the one that wants to reach for that fantasy. And it's considered the first modern novel. And I know that it's a slog for some people, but I've always found it either in English or Spanish. I prefer the Spanish version, obviously, but it's really neat to see the development of the characters and how you get into their psyche. It's really cool. I enjoy it simply because it also teaches me not to be crazy and not to go after windmills. That's a big plus.
But they might be giants.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess my last one is actually one of the hardest books that I ever had to read. It's not a very long book. It's maybe, I want to say it was like 100, 120, somewhere about there, 100, 110 pages or something like that. But it's Night, and by Elie Wiesel. And when you read that book, the horror of what happened during the Holocaust is vivid. You read about the Holocaust in school. You learn about it. You can go to the museum. You can see the photographs and everything. But until you read that one account, you don't understand the absolute depths of hell that these people actually went through, and how the survivors had to deal with that trauma and make it a positive thing in their life to make sure that this never happened again. And today, it is more important to read this book more than ever, I think, because of the things that are happening in this country and overseas in Israel. So it is by far one of the finest things I've ever read, and yet one of the most haunting. I normally read a book, if it's 300 pages, maybe in about 3 or 4 hours. It took me 5 weeks to read this one because I had to put it down all the time and recover from the impact. But it is well worth it. So those are the 5 books that I think have made a lasting impact on me.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. I can talk about books all day long.
Andrew, my friend,
Yes.
help us out. What moves you from the written page, my friend?
Oh, well, it was one that impacted my life a lot. And it was Jack and Jill Went Up the Hill. I just,
Did they
I-
get that pail of water? I must know.
Don't tell me they come tumbling down after.
I am not
They
going
each
to
went up to
spoil the story for you.
$1.25. Jill came down with 250.
I am not.
Andrew,
gonna
that's
spoil.
Clay.
I don't want to spoil the story for y'all.
I'm riveted.
Well, there's this cat, and he's in
Well-
a hat.
Well, I haven't finished
No
that one yet,
spoilers.
so hold on.
Yeah.
No,
I'm crying. Oh my god.
unfortunately, I didn't grow up reading all the great classics. I wasn't required to read them either. I did read a lot of Travis Tritt books by John D. MacDonald because my dad had them. But
Well, most
I
books
think-
weren't written by that when you were
oh,
a kid.
this is true. Well, there was Gronk and his pictograms, but come on,
But
those
you had
were
to wait
not
a week for
really.
him to chisel it out on that stone tablet.
It's, and then if you made a mistake, you had to start all over with fresh rock.
It's like, God damn it, Grant, hurry up. I want to find out if he stole his woman and rode off on a dinosaur.
Hey, Gronk, have him use his club on her.
Hurry up, you bastard.
And God forbid if it was a weekly serial.
Oh, jeez. If nothing comes to mind, don't worry about it. Don't feel
Well,
compelled to tell
No,
us.
no.
Look, you
no,
can't be any worse than my little spiel.
No, I Reader's Digest was one that I read a lot growing up. We had a subscription, and I'd read that thing like it was going out of style. And
Yeah, I think everybody of a certain age did. I know I did when I was little.
Yeah.
Because my grandparents had stacks of them.
yeah,
Wow.
And when I got bored, I just grabbed one. And yeah, they'd put like the novels of the day in there, but they'd be like severely abridged.
mm-hmm.
But you still
And-
got the gist of the story and what was going on, which was cool.
I suppose
And
the
then-
equivalent now is Wikipedia. You look up a synopsis and read through. No, probably not. Scratch that. That's how I read the new
Goodreads.
books of the day. It's like, oh, Hunger Games.
you read
I'll
the
just
book?
read
Hang
the
on.
Wikipedia page.
But
Yes, I have.
I think the some of the science fiction I read, initial Robert Heinlein and Larry Niven.
Oh,
that pretty
Niven.
much-
Niven is a must read. If you
Oh,
Yeah, he is.
totally.
if you enjoy science fiction in any way, shape, or form, Larry Niven is definitely a go-to. He's one of the
and
he's
the one
one of
that
the
opened,
greats.
and the one that opened science fiction to me was one that I was actually required to read, and that was the 3 girls saving their dad. I can't even think of the name of it now, but they made a movie that bombed.
Okay, I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of
It had
anything directly
It
offhand.
had the kids. They were trying to save their dad, and they had the witches, the 3. I remember the little boy was named Lewis, and the girl was named Meg. And it was a movie that came out here recently, and it had, I think, Oprah Winfrey in it.
Oh, not that Wrinkle in Time, was it?
Wrinkle in
Yeah,
Time?
Wrinkle in Time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I read that
Got
book
it.
a long time ago, and that introduced me to science fiction.
Oh.
That's when I discovered Analog and all those other.
Analog was an amazing magazine.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
And then the other one that did it for me was The Amazing Spider-Man #1. That just changed my life. I have spent the rest of my life trying to be bit by radioactive spiders.
Now it's all wasps. They got radioactive wasps.
Yeah, it's just not the same. Definitely.
Yellow Jacket's a bad guy. He's a psycho. I've seen it in the comics. All right.
Fuck that guy.
You never see Cicada Man around here.
Yeah, because he makes annoying noises.
And everybody knows the best insect-based superhero is the Tick.
The Tick.
Oh, Spoon!
Is there any other superhero that's insect based? Spiders are not insects, so.
The Fly. No.
Nah, I can't think of one.
Ant-Man,
No, yeah.
the Wasp.
Oh, the butterfly in the Tick. Arthur?
Yeah, Arthur.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
a butterfly or a moth or whatever he is.
The Monarch from the Venture Brothers, but he's just a guy in a costume. The mighty Monarch. Yep.
Oh no, Janelle even knows a Niven story from the animated Star Trek. I've only seen a handful of the animated series.
Oh my God.
It's not my
Um,
thing.
It's an episode called The Soft Weapon. It is the best
Yeah.
episode in the animated series. Watch it.
Alright, I'll look it up.
I can't believe you haven't watched the animated series. That shit's gold.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it.
It is.
It's even
amazing.
better than the original because they could do things that they couldn't do. You know,
Just
it's
the
easier to do
animation
shit.
style was like kind of off-putting.
Hey,
Well,
that's
yeah. It was
all
the
of the
70s.
animation we watched at our age. So you will enjoy it and be thankful.
Hey,
lady.
if that floats your boat.
And you're dealing with people who had to walk uphill to school both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Both ways in the snow.
In Puerto Rico, that should tell you how hard it was. Snow in Puerto Rico was treacherous.
Oh.
We got Jeff waiting for a shout out for Richard Scarry.
I know my kids enjoyed those books. As
Those
for
were
me,
good. Those were good.
Not so much. Okay. I
The
suppose they
animation is that 70s crap, but the stories are good.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as myself, I
Pink
think,
Tribbles.
yeah, everybody knows of my love for Shakespeare, so I won't even bother getting into that. But I think there's as far as specific genres, I mean, I follow science fiction, and Larry Niven and William Gibson and all that. I love most of their work. I think probably the one thing that I read more than anything though is mystery and noir.
Mm.
And everyone's like, "Ooh, Agatha Christie, ooh, Nigel Marsh, and all that stuff." Yeah, they're good books, but for me, I think the one that I've read most is Georges Simenon, who created Inspector Maigret, and he wrote over 30 books, and a lot of them they have similar plot points, but they're just different. They're just varied enough to be different. So it's always it's not this guy, it's not that woman. It 9 times out of 10 when you read them, you're actually surprised who the murderer is.
Hmm.
And
It's true. Who done it?
exactly. And let's see. besides Simon?
That's actually a sign of a good author that they can not give it away early.
Yeah, he's an amazing
Mhm.
author, and not a lot of people on this side of the Atlantic are familiar with him, and that should be corrected as soon as possible. The books are readily available online; you can find them. But another author that I'm fond of is Frederick Forsyth, and if you're not familiar with his work, you might be, from some of the movies, The Day of the Jackal, The
Oh
Dogs of
yeah.
War, The Fourth Protocol. Extremely tightly written espionage and war stories, and they're real page turners. And especially when you find it, if you've seen The Dogs of War, you get the general gist of what the story is about, but the book goes into so much more detail,
Mm.
and the ending is completely different. Well, not so much, but there's another bit at the end of the book that they didn't film, and it's like, wow, holy shit, this is wow. I'm glad I read this book, and you should be, because it's an amazing book. And let's see.
Battlefield Earth.
No, that's a big no. Some more mysteries,
Oh boy,
and
no.
the Nero Wolfe books by Rex Stout. And it's not only because he's this 300 some odd pound detective who never leaves the house. He just solves everything at his desk. Um, it's the interactions with his cook Fritz that are amazingly funny. It's these two guys don't agree on everything, and the fights they get into over a specific spice that's being put on starlings. It's like you use tarragon instead of thyme. Take it away from my table, and then an entire argument ensues, and it's amazing. But that because I'm a foodie, that seems to
That's good.
yeah, that's what moves me.
Oh,
But I think the most important thing, despite of my love of Shakespeare and every other thing, that I just mentioned, I have to say that my favorite book of all time is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas.
mm.
Excellent pick.
And yeah,
Great
and
sandwich too.
oh,
Stop.
absolutely,
Stop. I
the
knew
best,
it.
the best sandwich.
There's
in
also a
history.
Wishbone episode.
But if you haven't read the book or seen the film, you need to. And as far as the films go, I prefer the 1933 version with Robert Donat, because it gets right to the
I
point.
do
What if
too.
I've had a sandwich from
Although
1933?
I gotta say, Guy Pearce has one hell of a skull. But yeah, I gotta go with Robert Donat.
And there's another version. You can find it on YouTube. That has Gerard Depardieu. It's a 4-part miniseries,
Mm.
Yeah,
and
I've
it
seen
was
that one too.
absolutely amazing. And
Is there a Russian one?
no, but we need to look for it so we can do it on the next episode.
That would be so cool.
Russian Lord of the Rings, Russian
Musical.
Yes, Jason and the Argonauts with show tunes.
Oh,
Holy
that'd be so
shit.
epic.
But
What is
yeah,
that happening?
that's probably going to happen within the next 2 episodes. I'm banking on it, since I do every 2 weeks. Not next time, but the time after that. We'll plan for a month, because I got to
Saving
get
it for Juxtober.
yeah, we gotta get the video out to everybody so everybody can watch it. But
Well, I could interject with this because you mentioned adaptations to movies.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park. So grew up watching the movie, loved it. Got to high school and we had to read a book for a biology class of all classes. So I picked Jurassic Park, right? It is such a different story from the movie, but it's still good. Like, it's one of those few instances where I'm like, yeah, the book and the movie are completely different, but I love both of them, probably for different reasons. Like,
yeah,
the book gets kind of graphic, and I'm not super crazy about that, especially how Dennis Nedry dies, because oh my gosh, they go into all the details.
well, he
But
kind of deserved it. But yeah,
but yeah, the book gets into a lot more of the biology, and it's kind of seeing the application of what I was learning in class at the time, and seeing it play out in Jurassic Park, it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
That's the one.
Yes, read the Jurassic Park book and then go enjoy the movie and appreciate them as separate things.
Yeah, that's the one thing I hate about Michael Crichton adaptations of
Mm.
novels when they bring them to movies. Everything has to be dumbed down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
It's the
think
same
I
thing.
think
It's the same thing with Philip K. Dick.
yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
Michael Crichton was a brilliant man,
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant, and most importantly, he was a superb author. He knew how to write,
Right.
and that combination. I mean, his intellect plus a medical education plus his skills as an author, his
Yeah.
his books will always, to me, always be superior to the films.
I should
Yeah,
read The
he had
Lost
this knack
World
of
at some
taking-
point. Oh,
He had this knack of taking the, hey, here's this thing in the news. What is the worst case situation that could possibly? Okay, I'm going to write that.
right.
Well, remember Andromeda
Oh
Strain?
boy, that
I still
scared
gotta
the
read
hell out
that.
of me.
Boy, don't we all?
Holy crap!
The Jurassic Park
remember it,
book
I've
came with all
lived
those
it.
little diagrams.
But I think a definite Michael Crichton read for anyone who hasn't. Eaters of the Dead,
Yes.
which was
Mhm.
turned into the 13th Warrior. Now, the 13th Warrior, if you're a man, you love that film. Period. But
Yep.
read the book.
I'm a girl and
it's
I
in your
love it.
DNA. You have to. Yeah.
Read the book. It's if you've seen the movie enough times, you know the parallels between that film and Beowulf. If you read the book, it completely changes everything, and I think for the better. But
Yeah.
and it's not a long read. I mean, it's only like I think maybe 150, 160 pages,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
one
it's
of his
not-
better
it's not-
novels.
and it's definitely worth your time. I mean, if you start at like 8 o'clock in the evening, you can finish it before you go to bed, because it's a page turner, definitely.
Oh, the one thing in Jurassic Park, the book, that kind of gets overlooked in the movie is just how much technology can screw you over. How much they were relying on the computers to keep track of all the dinosaurs, and it turned out, oh, they were just counting how many dinosaurs that the user was inputting into the software, not how many there actually were in the park. And it's like, oh crap, because I have a computer science degree and did all the programming classes and everything. And it's like, oh crap, that would have been a real easy fix, wouldn't it? Maybe. It's just some stupid like bug, and it's like, oh man, yeah. But hire more than one IT guy, and make sure he's not Newman.
Newman.
What's the deal with the Velociraptor?
And then Kramer burst through the door. Yeah.
Hey, buddy, look what I found.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Holy shit! It's almost time to go. And
Oh man.
I think on that note, we're going to wrap it up,
Oh.
ladies and gentlemen. And Orty, where can we find you, sir?
Well, this is my light week this week. You can find me Tuesday night with you and Rick and hopefully Jeff again someday. So Steve, obviously, and some random Canadian on Manorama. Wednesday, I'm with Aggie and Rick and Andrew and G on Toxic Masculinity. Then later that night, I'm on Rick and Orty with Rick, and that's it for this week. You can also find me on Twitter as Ordnance Packard. Nobody's more shocked about that fact than me.
Previously on Juxtaposition. No. Janelle, where can we find you?
Oh, so you can find me on the YouTubes, the Twitters, and even the Instagrams if that's your thing. It's Janelle Waz. Check out my YouTube channel where I talk Star Trek, video games, and whatever else I feel like talking about. It's basically like your English class, only I talk Star Trek and make fun of Beverly Crusher's ghost boyfriend who dated her grandma.
Yeah. Ruining the
And
ghost
dead
boyfriend. I see the green mist, and she starts writhing uncontrollably. Yeah,
You
not
will
the
be
best
visited by 3 ghosts all at once.
Ooh. Oh, geez, now I gotta post those memes again. God, I love it.
Change,
Also, I did an
change
episode
Tim's
about
on the
Dharma.
dresser.
Oh, geez.
The credit readers on the dresser, all right?
Oh, geez. Oh, goodness. Bit of coffee went down the wrong tube. Okay.
Touch my robe. Touch it.
Touch it. Yes. Aggie, where can we find you?
Right now, dying of laughter. Um,
Just think the Wuthering Heights trailer
yes.
or the Kate Bush song if that's your thing.
Okay. You can find me at Aggie Regan and Aggie the Barkeep over on X, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Tuesday nights, doing the Cocktail Lounge with Brad Slager, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Friday nights, doing He Said, She Said with Rowdy Rick Robinson. And this week is the second Wednesday. So watch for Ordy and myself. We're going to be on Toxic Masculinity at 8 p.m. Eastern. Bringing the drink of that evening. And Jeff and I now do Spirited Books first Monday of every month at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. And Andrew,
Oh, yes?
where can we find you, sir?
You're not allowed to. I have restraining orders against all of y'all.
Okay. Fair enough.
Justified.
We'll just hang out across the street.
Yeah.
Well, that's allowed.
We'll
You just can't
stare-
find me, all right?
We'll just stare at you menacingly.
Police can't do
I,
anything. We're 41 feet away.
Not 40.
Oh, jeez.
You can find me on Twitter, and this Wednesday I'll be on Toxic Masculinity with Ordy and Aggie and G and Rick and I don't know, all sorts of other things happening. Maybe we even made it up to a number 2 or 3 today, this time on the Toxic thing, because we are a ranked show.
Nice.
Besides being rank.
Fair enough. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on X as Yes That Be Charles. You can find me here every other Sunday with the Vincent Charles Project, and you can also find me weekly on Tuesdays on Rancor Steve's Manorama show at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And that's pretty much it. So I'd like to thank my guests for joining me this evening. And I would like to thank all of you out there as well. I look forward to the pleasure of your company next time. So until then, au revoir.